Hey, this is Fire, and I'm going to be playing Legacy Duelist. I am actually normally really good with Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played it for about 5 years, so let's get this going. I started out with Fire King Island, 2 Fire King Islands, and a Dark Destroyer. I decided, you know what, let's just do the normal play. As you can see, I went first. It didn't seem very weird for a Kozmo player to do that, especially when you're playing the Fire King Island build, but I decided, you know what, let's do that. I do make a mess up, which is really kind of stupid, which you'll see in a second, but I do the normal plays, you know, send him. I found out if you set it, just like, what's that ancient gear card? Whatever. It activates, so, you know, pop, summon this guy, your straw man. Here's my mistake. I decided to chain my straw man effect instead of activating my straw man effect to summon my Dark Destroyer, and then summon the farm girl, because then I would have gotten a tin can and a Dark Lady, which would have been a much better play, or even a Landwalker, which would have been a promised play, but I decided to go with this, which I guess is more aggressive. It didn't really matter what I summoned, I was going to get a tin can either way. So I went, okay, just tin can. I thought about going Dark later, but I was like, you know what, tin can's a smarter idea. I activate tin can, and I do Landwalker, Dark Destroyer, and and Forerunner. Sadly enough, I got Landwalker. I was afraid that, you know, if I didn't go Slip Rider, I would have done something stupid. I should have gone Dark Lady. Not expecting something super aggressive. I was expecting something more like Monarchs, because I saw the Adios and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get Monarched. But then I saw the Supply Squad and I was like, this would be a very weird version of Monarchs. And then I saw the extra deck. I was like, okay, so it's not Domain Monarchs, it could be extra deck Monarchs, but there's no Gofu, so it's not as good. Nothing really much. He sets a card, and I didn't expect something super, like, out of it. So I was just like, okay, tin can effect, slip, town, and mojo. And I think I get town off of this one. Yeah, I get town. Yeah, just activate my tin can, summon my Landwalker. Nothing really big. I activate a Straw Man, and then this is the OTK. It's pretty much as you can get out of it. Activate that, and I'll go, oh, you know what? I think I activate it in case he had some type of board wipe. I just go into Slip Rider and something else, pop it, get Dark Destroyer, and just win off of that. I saw the Ice Hand. At first I didn't know what to do with it, because I had forgotten Landwalker's effect, but then I was like, oh yeah, Landwalker, so I popped my Dark Destroyer. And I was like, oh, okay. Happily enough, it actually worked well, because apparently if it pops monster, it still doesn't get to summon, so I was like, okay, I can get off of this. Slip Rider to swing, and I was like, okay, I got the game here. Swing with Slip Rider, swing with Farm Girl into Dank Destroyer, and right, this is the win. Yeah, it wasn't a bad game. Honestly, I was expecting more, and not Fire Hand and Ice Hand. but it wasn't bad. It's not the best game, and this is just the start of my next future videos. So I go in for the swing and I win the game. So yeah. Alright, so in this one I didn't know what to go. He's chose second. I decided, you know what, that's good. I'm playing Blue Eyes this time, and I think, you know what, set the maiden, activate the moon. And then I was like, nah, set the moon in case he has something, and not summon Blue Eyes, because I don't need Blue Eyes completely, right? He's thinking over this. I don't know what he has in his hand. I'm expecting something, you know, aggressive, something really strong, and I see the Paladin Felgrand, and I'm like, okay, that's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad, being that it has unaffected to monster effects. I'm a little scared, but I'm not worried about it. I read the Felgrand, I'm like, oh shit, that's actually really good. And in this play, I was like, well, I can activate Book of Moon, summon Blue Eyes, and then let them both die, and then summon it with Return of Dragons next turn. And I decided, you know what, that's not good. That's not something I need. I get my Dragon Shrine, which was a really good top deck. Otherwise I would have had to set my Ancients, which wasn't bad. It just seemed like something I didn't want to do. I get my White Stone, I get I summon my guy, and I get really happy because I'm like, oh, well now I can get rid of his Felgrand, and he has to play around that. After this, nothing really happens, he just quits. This one, I forgot to activate record, but I set 2 cards going first, he MSD'd 1, that was it. So I drew bad again. It's not a great hand, but it's definitely something I can do with. I could have set the White Stone. I decided against it because I didn't expect anything. I read Master again. I do like Master. It's a good card, but I didn't know what to go for. I set my White Stone. I was like, you know what, that's good. Let's leave it at that. There's nothing that's going to go off of this. So he's playing through his turn, and all he does is set 1 and end his turn. It's not much of a big hand. I was like, you know what, let's just get rid of that card. Don't even want to know what it is. So I get rid of it, and I was like, okay, I actually have a reasonable hand now because I set it up. I'm going to activate my Master to send my White Stone, which will summon my Blue Eyes card in the graveyard, which will be my... that guy. Totally forgot his name for a second. I'm gonna just get rid of that, and come to my amazement, I find out that he actually had a warning. He could have gone around my entire play, and I realized that, but then I realized I had Silver's Cry, and I would have gotten much more out of it. He would have lost 2,000, I would have cleared another card in his back row, and then popped it. And I decided, you know, that's great. And then it's another fire hand. This is something really weird, and I didn't expect this to be more meta-ish in the game, but I guess it is. I'm not against it, I'm not for it. So I have my Dragon Spirit White here, and I thought at first if I should have summoned my Blue Eyes or not. I was more afraid of like a Storming Mirror Force. I decided against it because Mirror Force didn't really do anything. What I did make a mistake of is I run 3 Ancients, which is really bad personally, because Ancients just isn't a great card. So I activate my Ancients, I summon my Blue Eyes, which here I expected a Bottomless, but he didn't go for it. He just set another card, and this is where I actually expected an Ice Hand, so I wasn't too afraid of it. So what I did was I actually set up for it. I was like, oh cool, I drew another draw card, so I was just like, Upstart. It's not a big card, it's not a bad card, it's not something I needed, and I actually could have gotten off this play and went Blue Eyes, I don't remember what that guy had, Spirit, and I knew that Spirit negated a card in the graveyard once per turn. It's good. What I should have done right here is activated my Dragon Lords and then gotten rid of another one of his back row. I did see that when it was Synchro Summon, I could special summon a light dragon type. And I decided, you know what, that's good, even if he has a Mirror Force. Oh, I did go for the Dragon White. What else did I not do? So, after this, I saw the Frightful card, and I was like, oh, I don't have an issue. I swing in with that. It activates that. I'm not having much of an issue. I'm like, okay. I could have Silver Cried, hit for 3k, and then activated another monster onto the field, and I decided against it because I didn't want to get Regeki'd and then lose this. I guess he didn't expect Dragon Spirit, Blue Eye Spirit Dragon to negate his Ice Hand, because after this I decided I'm gonna win. And that's pretty much what happens. He ends his turn. Oh wait, no, I think he actually surrenders. But yeah,